We're going to be doing a vote review of a Gold 5 Baptiste today. We have some key moments. I felt very useless in this fight, was playing back, just healing and last focus on my tank for a few seconds, then he died. Then I tried to solo ult because I knew if they capped, they won that round, and then I just died. How could I be positioned better to have more of an impact upon this fight? Okay, so first things first, Soxy, let's watch the team fight. 320 until 346. Okay. Red team just capped the point. Whenever I see this, whenever I see like red team just capping the point and stuff, I always assume that your team is tilted because usually people are very upsetty when this happens. Because they're like, we have to win 5 fights, well, 4 fights, 3 fights. While they only have to win 1-1. This is so lost. Oh well. So let's see how you approach this. Because we see that Orisa is gold 5. What is Orisa doing there? Orisa? Okay, she's spamming. You healing.
You're going to be fine.
Still doing stuff. Who put the wall there?
Get into the field.
Okay.
Careful. We're outnumbered. Let them up.
Okay. I like what I'm seeing. Woo, we have so much to explain here. Ace, get it! Let's go. So, this is a clear example of supports not getting along with their tanks or their DPSs positioning-wise. I'm not saying they're your guide with your positioning. I'm just saying that sometimes as a support, you have 2 options, okay? You either play in your own spot and you're like, I'm not gonna die, I'm playing safe from here, and everything that I'm gonna do is gonna be okay. Or you follow your team into the depths of the sea and you can pop off with them and help them out. This being said, you are doing option number 1, trying to stay as safe as possible in a nice cozy spot on high ground and stuff. There are 2 big issues with that. Number 1, if you do this in the beginning and you just chill here in the back, then you're playing passively. Because the enemies, what are the enemies doing? The enemies are going to be like, oh, what a nice thick tree. Look at the architecture. I have an idea. Let's just walk in because I can't even see Baptiste shooting at me. Free real estate. So this is number 1. You stay in the back and they have every little bit of space that they desire, uncontested. Of course, there's no Orisa they're shooting and stuff, but sometimes adding more numbers will add more pressure. Secondly, if you plan on playing like this, you probably are an Ana main, or you play a lot of Ana, or you watch me play a bunch of Ana. I don't know what's happening, but Ana doesn't have mobility. Baptiste has mobility, right? So repositioning is way easier with Baptiste. This means that, for example, if you want to go closer to them, or wherever you want to go, you don't have to start on high ground. You can go and shoot them a little bit, then go back to high ground. Take advantage of your hero's kit. And another point that I wanted to touch upon was positioning-wise, you want to start playing this defensive in case the enemies have one-shots. And not even then you want to play defensive because you're just giving them like very easy angles to shoot you, to spam you, right? If you watch top 500 games, you're going to see Sojourns dueling Widowmakers sometimes. Even if they can't one-shot, you're like testing the aim and stuff. In professional games, you're going to see that ego peeking, this is how it's usually called, doesn't work that well because people are warmed up and you're going to get punished and stuff. But in ranked, you can like push the limits, right? So in this case, I would say, think about what can kill you from the enemies. That is your number 1 tip in positioning. You should approach every team fight not as in, where can I stay the safest and take care of myself and take care of my teammates and then nobody's gonna attack me. You know, you're in a battlefield. Nobody's gonna leave you alone. Do you hear me? Nobody is going to leave you alone. So in this case, if you're playing against Junkrat, Bastion, Baptiste, Mercy, D.Va, just think about this. Can D.Va kill me from this distance? Like, have a tonking moment. Can D.Va kill me from this distance? No. Can Bastion kill me in like a second? No, because I have a wall and lamp and shift. Can Baptiste kill me? No, Megalol. Can Junkrat kill me? Okay, I'm scared of Junkrat. I'm gonna listen to footsteps. I'm gonna see where he's spamming from and stuff. Can Mercy kill me? Yes, fuck, I got a gun. So, you know what I mean? Like, if you would play against Widowmaker or Hanzo, then sometimes positioning yourself like this would be really good. But against their team comp specifically, with Orisa this pushed up, you have to spam before the fight. And I'm telling you that this team fight was huge, but I'm going to give you Baptiste positioning in a nutshell 90% of the time. You ready? You have one player in your team that always plays tank. One. If that one plays with an immobile tank, as in can't jump nonstop, you're not playing with Winston or with Ball, you're playing with Hog, you're playing with Orisa, you're playing with Sigma, you're playing with Reinhardt, then you see these
Been a part
cheeks.
of Teaching Tuesday for 5 months now, let's go.
Exactly, Teaching Tuesday moment. You see these cheeks here? Well, you're glued to them. I am not joking. If you have no idea where to stay with Baptiste, follow your tank. Use them as an anchor. You know, like those fishies that just attach to other fish? Just stay close to your tank. Wherever your tank goes, you follow them. Why do you want to do this? Number one, it's easier to heal them. Okay? It's easier to splash the heal on the ground. Number 1+1. If you land direct shots, you heal 4 more. Number 1+1+1. Playing near tanks usually means that if the enemy wants to commit for you, your tank will help you because he's right next to you. So when the fight is over and stuff, walk close to your tank. Why I said 90% of the times is because sometimes you want to stay split from your team for 2 reasons. Number 1, you can do more damage to the enemies and don't give a fish about your tank. So for example, you can put yourself, this map's geometry, the layout of the map is kind of bad for you to do this. Hollywood would be a better example, okay? I want you to close your eyes and envision Hollywood. Second point of Hollywood. What I'm trying to say is this. If let's say everybody's playing on low ground, you're like halfway where the payload is, halfway through the road. Everybody's playing on a payload, right? Enemy team and your team, and you have to heal your tank and stuff. Then you can take an off angle, okay, like jump on high ground, play from high ground, see the enemies and shoot the enemies, but look at your tank and your teammates and heal your teammates. The equivalent of this would be on this map to, I don't know, have like here a small window where you can shoot the enemies, be in cover, and heal your Orisa. But that's already a bit complicated. You're in Gold 5, so my recommendation is you see your tank, you walk with your tank. If the tank doesn't have a bunch of mobility, it's super easy to position. And over here, you're scared about the damage incoming. Okay, but Mr. Streamer, I understand. I work with my tank, I heal the tank. Okay, easy clap. I'm worried about the positioning. Now, let's talk about something known as wide matchmaking. No, about wide angles. Okay? Usually do not have a shield in Overwatch 2. This means that spamming and poking like you would with Baptiste in Overwatch 1, playing behind 2 shields, is not that common. This being said, welcome to an FPS, in which cover matters a bunch. You can stay behind your Orisa and like shoot over here in front, right? By the way, no, actually not. I don't want to give like, or we're gonna like tip 200, so I'm gonna just finish this idea first. So, you want to shoot the enemies and don't shoot them in the open. So, like, for example, yes, I see my tank here. You're not glued to Orisa's chest. You're glued to her ass. So, you play in the back a little bit, even if you're not going to see the enemies that well. But you don't play in wide angles like this because you can get spammed from here, from here, from here. You tighten the angle and spam where you think or where they're supposed to walk from. Tightening the angle would mean, I'm afraid, so I'm going to shoot the enemies coming from there. This way, if you just look at this angle, you can see your Orisa, and you can spam here if the enemies are going to walk in. If you want to widen the angle, because nobody's coming from there, they're coming from there, then just open it like this. It's a concept that a lot of, in Overwatch, I don't think it's that common because the game is like super fast. You're going to see it present in a bunch of other games. It's called slicing the pie, which in the TLDR for it, without complicating it a bunch, means that you fight one opponent one time. Over here, you fight 1, 2, 3 opponents if you position yourself right here. But if you position yourself right here, for example, you only see one opponent. You sliced the pie. You know what I mean? Like just baby steps. And now, but Mr. Streamer, I am scared. I don't understand anything that you're saying. The TLDR of the TLDR of the TLDR. If you just position near your tank, You can use walls as cover. You can just heal your tank. You would have won the team fight. Congratulations. That's it. Literally. That's like the 10-second explanation of this. If you would have just stayed here instead of here, you'd have had an easier time to react to lamp, easier time to heal up the Orisa, maybe do some damage in, but you stay super close to your team. Okay? Super close to your tank. You know, this is the best explanation I can give to you. Okay, and with this, I'm going to move on to the second key moment. I'm excited because I've been playing a bunch of Baptiste recently. I've been seeing a lot of patterns that are happening with Baptiste players, even in top 500. And this is, I hope you're excited as I am. Anyway, I forgot what I wanted to say. Moving on. Too much excitement, too much coffee, it kicked in. Okay, similar to the first key moment, feel like I didn't really provide much for the team in this team fight. Okay, was stuck in two minds between damage and healing, and as a result, we lost the fight. What can I be doing better here? 745 to 825. 745. Let's watch this. Where are you? Nice damage.
Performance. A shot of hell.
Wait, 745 or 725? 745. Okay, so the fight is here. Usually whenever the fight is happening like this, I'm trying to check out the numbers. So you have the advantage. I think it's going to be when they regroup. Okay. Oh, I remember what I wanted to say. Hell yeah. Okay, hear me out. This is super crucial when playing Baptiste. Super crucial, super important. Okay? To have easier positioning with Baptiste, understand, like, follow this concept. You need a friend. You need a buddy. Wherever you go, you're with that friend. You go outside, you're with that friend. You flank, you're with that friend. You stay in the back, you're with your friend. It's the best way of explaining positioning with him. It's not like with Mercy, yes, you also have a friend and you damage boost them and stuff. But with Nana, for example, you don't necessarily have to stay close to people. With Zenyatta, you can... People should stay close to you. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't stay close to people, they should stay close to you. Brig should follow you, not you should follow Brig. You know? With Baptiste, though, you follow your friends. You follow your friends. Okay, so in this case, for example, with a mobile tank like D.Va, I'm thinking, who can I stay close to? Baptiste has some mobility, but he doesn't have dashes and stuff. So staying with heroes that can close distance really fast with their mobility skills is not that 5-head. What you could do positioning-wise before seeing this team fight is, for example, I'm playing Baptiste. I'm going to try number 1 to do as much damage to the enemies and help my teammates while doing so. So I'm going to have sightlines of the enemies and my teammates. And number 2, 1+1, I will position myself, if that's too much, I'll position myself to the most immobile target in my team. In this case, I'm going to stay with Granny, because Granny moves kind of slow. Soldier can sprint, but Granny can't sprint, okay? So I see Zenyatta, I can stay near Zen. I see Rein, I stay near Reinhardt. I just stay with them. Strength in numbers. Let's watch this team fight now. Because now look, for example, how...
Enemy here. Thanks.
Okay, close to Diana. Nice kill.
Let them up.
Good intention with the window. I like that you're windowing when the fight is kind of lost. You know what I mean? Like, you have a good idea of turning around the team fight. And in Gold, you usually don't see this. This is actually very, very smart. The intention is what matters at these ratings. It's not the execution. Because if you don't... What the hell is happening here? If you don't try... Nobody gets it right the first time. You have to fail, 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 fail. So let's watch this team fight, okay? Team fight at 750? Yes, 750 from over here. So the fight is over. Right now, when the fight is over, you have to do the following. Number 1, think about this. What can I do to the enemies? Number 2, what can I do to help my allies? In this case, you cap the point, press W. W, 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 skibidi, beep, 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 boop, boop. Okay, I'm done. Dies of cringe. W, 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 W. If you stay here, it's free real estate because the enemies are going to be seeing Genji, they're going to be seeing D.Va, and that's it. But what if they see Ana? What if they see Soldier? What if they see Baptiste? Oh my god, what's gonna be happening? Oh, you know what I mean? Like you wanna, even if you're dig, dude, just it's just like panicking, you know? You just wanna panic them. So this being said, you cap the point. Whoa. Too safe. Walk in them. Walk W. Just W in. Get inside. Okay?
Stay near the
Good
immortality
lamp
field.
over here for Genji, by the way. I'm proud of you. But then Ana is healing that. You're thinking, you're debating. You walk in, trying to heal the diva by... okay, I can get by this. Getting trapped. This wasn't that much of a mistake, by the way. The play that you did here isn't that bad. It was okay. It was not a perfect execution, but it was really good. You're like thinking about saving the Genji. You walked in a little bit in front. A bit too late, though, in my opinion. And yeah, you saved the diva. Got scared. With a bit more experience, you probably would have not walked in. Just don't give a fuck about the diva. You're gonna have the lamp there. Whatever. Let's watch from here, guys.
It's you or me.
Build them up. And now we think about the numbers. So Junkrat died. It is a 5 versus 4.
Enemy
You're
here.
one fight away from losing this. Diva sleeping. Bastion dead. Your team is in a 5 versus 3. Should be
Thanks
easy,
for the
Cloud.
help.
There is the Junkrat. 5 versus 4. Okay, 4 versus 4. Soldiers there in the back. Good kill. You're in a 4 versus 3. You can split. You don't need to stay this safe. Like, look at Junkrat. Look at Junkrat. He's like chilling and spamming there. He's chilling. He has all this space. Imagine if you'd be walking here. I'm not saying about walking inside against the Junkrat. That's a bad idea. I'm just saying, who can kill you from the enemies? Even if you walk here, you're probably not gonna die. You can just use your mobility, jump on top of this, make it uncomfortable for the enemies. Because right now, Junkrat's having an easy job spamming it. Okay, grip tab being used. Genji goes deep. 3 versus 3. You try to break it. Dead. 2 versus 3. You can still maybe turn this around, by the way. I had a good intention here.
Let them up.
Just couldn't land the shots. So, this entire fight overall wasn't that bad, and these fights happen. But when your team is when the enemy team is one fight away from winning the round, even if the fight seems winnable, assume that it's not winnable. People will always overextend. Like, look at this. Like, Genji shouldn't do this. So up until this was perfect. Valkyrie is being used. They get the mech and stuff, right? Right now, this doesn't mean that the fight is won because you killed Junkrat and they use Valkyrie. It doesn't mean that the fight is won. Diva sleeping, you kite back, you're scared, you wait for the Diva bomb. Over here, for example, would be a good idea of an aggressive play. You can go left side and spam the Junkrat. You can even window here and buy time. You could walk before the fight in front with your teammates, and then everything would have been like a little bit better. Because like the approach, what I'm trying to say, because I'm bouncing back and forwards and back and forwards and back and forwards, is I feel like you're attacking in patterns. So for example, you're not going like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, boom, 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 just annoying the enemies. Like, I don't know, you're water in a cave and you just drip, 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 and just eventually melt the rock away, right? You're going in patterns, going like, Hurricane! Hurricane! You know what I mean? So over here, yeah, you walk in front, but then, I'm going in the back. We cap the point, I'm going in the back. Oh, Riptide, I'm going back. You know what I mean? Like, consistent pressure is what usually wins you games in Overwatch 2. If you watch high-ranked games, you will see that there are moments in which, for a minute and a half to 2 minutes, nothing's happening. Everybody's poking. It's a waiting game. Who can consistently apply more pressure without dying usually wins the fight. In this case, you're playing the fights like you'd be in Overwatch 1. You're still doing really good for a gold player, by the way. But always think about this. In the team fights, enemies. Always think what you can do to them. I know that you might have heard people saying that your job is just to heal them and stuff, and that you're a healer, not a support. But excuse you, this is why it's support, not healer, because right now the Genji has absolutely no reason to do this. Who put the wall there? Wait, a little bit more in front actually. Get saved, they get saved. What the Genji doing? He gets one, he goes in the back, maybe getting the kills and stuff. Mercy just heals up. Genji, what are you doing? Genji, couldn't commit. Could have played very safe there. Could have just killed whoever was here, like at the baby diva. Could have killed the Junker, could have helped the team. And then you're just stuck here. Good thing by splitting though. The fact that he split it was really good. Okay, so your main utility, I would say as a support overall, a lot of people are talking about healing. But Zen doesn't have that much healing, for example. I would say that your main utility overall in the game, not necessarily as a support, is how much attention you can take away from the enemies. How many resources you can drain off of them. You know, because you can have more resources. This being said, even like them putting your cursor on you, you consistently applying pressure is what's going to win your games. And you're going to be seeing with this because you're going to be like, yeah, streamer, that's cool. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Yeah, it's cool. Bro, trust me. If you start the games by just telling yourself, enemies, you're going to be like, wait, how did we win? I didn't do anything. No, you did. You staying on top of this did stuff because the Junkrat right now is going to be like, I have to move my cursor here. I'm dead because I'm in gold. You know what I mean? Okay, let's continue watching. What can I be doing better here? This is one of those scuff fights I told you. If you would have started it by being a little bit aggressive from before, it would have been won. So like for example, the ultra TLDR of this is fight is won. Stop healing, just press W over here. Diva goes for you. This is good. Microphone was muted, nobody told me anything? Aw, come on, dude. Is it still muted? Okay, it's not muted. Okay, thank you. I thought you were trolling me. Okay, we're gonna add 30 seconds to the vote review. Okay, so I don't know where it cut off, but imagine the entire team fight. I'm just gonna follow the camera around. Okay, I'm gonna follow the camera as to where you should have been. With consistent pressure. Okay, Diva's there. Fine, same thing. Mercy dead. Bum 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 bum. Maybe jump on here. He's backing out. Bum 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 bum. Oh, up top. Bum 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 bum. Heal. Damage. Bum. Bum 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 bum. Boom 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 boom. But I'm here. So see, just by literally pressing W a little bit, it would have looked entirely different. Maybe they would have focused you instead of your allies here, I mean. This being said, I'm curious about the first team fight. First team fight, I feel like it's the most important fight in ranked games. First team fight is definitely the most important team fight in a rank, that is. You set the tone if your team... It's like this. Do I like my teammates? We won the team fight. Yeah, I like them. Do I like my teammates? When it was a team fight? Nah, I don't like them. It's over. My Genji fed. Swap the heroes. This isn't working. So, depending on how you approach first team fight, I'm curious on this. Oh, see the Diva. Okay. Whoa. No reason to shift here. It's only Diva on you. You should try and do your shift. Not like in Overwatch 1. Right now, regenerative burst is buffed in Overwatch 2. So if you drop under 50% of your HP and you use your regenerative burst, then you're gonna get a big chunk of healing apart from the overtime healing that you're used to receiving. So in this case, if let's say somebody comes in and duels you, wait for your HP to drop a little bit more than 100. You can you fight. And if you don't have a feeling of how low you are, I personally, still after all these years, I like checking, like I'm looking here, up, in duels sometimes, if I'm playing with Baptiste, right?
Great teaching.
With other heroes, you can do this with Ana as well, you can do it with Kiriko as well. Kiriko is a bit tricky though, because I feel like you gotta focus on getting headshots and stuff. But literally, up, Oh, you look at the HP. Same as you would do if you'd have Transcendence and you're getting dived and you're playing Zenyatta. You know, you spam, last second, then you use Regenerative first. Anyway, good thing you're spamming. Good headshots, nice. Gouge spamming, by the way, but you dead. Because this is what's happening in the first team fight. Cutting the pie. You can see the enemy team comp 15 seconds after the round starts. Somebody's diving you at the beginning. You can press tab and see what heroes they have. Or you can gather the most important information for the first team fight, which is what heroes are they playing with. And if they're playing with those heroes, be careful. For example, D.Va's diving you, you're not going to be focusing on a big tank shooting at you when you have heal from Kiriko, she's in front against 5 people, and you have all your cooldowns available. She's not that scary. She did that, okay, fine, free real estate. But, you gotta know what they're playing with. So if they're playing with spam, you cannot walk in tight chokes if they're playing with spam. If you don't know where they're spamming from. They're playing with sniper, same principle. Because right here, like, yeah, you were focused on D.Va. Bam, 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 bam. But maybe they would have had a Widowmaker over there in the back. Like, you're trying to do things to the enemies as much as you can. And it's a balance. I want to do things to the enemies. I want to do so many things to the enemies. But they can't do this to me. But I want to do more things. But they can't do this to me. I want to do this. But I can get spammed. As long as you outweigh with how much more you can do to them than they can do to you, you're going to see that you're going to win a lot more games. So over here, this is very smart, by the way. Very smart. I like the duel. I like the cross spamming. Good. God tier gamer. Absolutely God tier gamer here. I'm not joking. This is super good. But you're tunnel visioning on shooting the D.Va. D.Va. Relax. You can just spam from here, or you can just walk over here. Spam from here as well. Time from spam, though, is kind of tricky, though. It's really hard to, like, keep track. But this is greed. You know what I mean? This is greed. I think you still are gonna win the team fight, or is that just YOLO's in? Actually, you're not gonna win it. Soldier dies from spam as well, same thing.
Watch out for this one.
They die. One more fight and they're gonna do. Muted. Oh, I understand now why I'm muted. Because of the speed. I said chill. Here, look. Same thing. You can make your support gameplay easier if you make it so that you can see the enemies and your teammates at the same time. That's how you should almost always approach support team fights. Over here, you're healing your team and not seeing the enemies. So what you can do, the simplest way, is just stay in the back. If off angling is a bit tricky, you can just stay here and spam here main. Stay here and spam main. Stay here and spam main. Over here, like, what is this? You know, like, you're just staying here, taking care of your teammates. You know how it is, bro. You care about your team. You do everything they can about your team. But sometimes they're absolutely useless. And they're the ones that are gonna go on Twitter and in Reddit and be like, oh my god, but Baptiste is immortality field this year. Oh my god, but healing in this game sucks. Oh my god. Shut up! Here, you can do stuff to the enemies. Because no matter how much you try and do stuff to your allies, if they do not know how to use the resources, what's gonna happen? Like, you're playing against Overwatch League player with almost 0 resources versus you have a diamond soldier, damage boosted, nanoed, with a bunch of resources. If he doesn't know how to use them, then what's the point? So in this case, number 1, always start the fight by doing stuff to the enemies. So shoot them before, don't split the angles, you know? Try to focus on on the enemies first. Okay, let's go and vote review because I'm gonna be telling you some things, okay? First things first. Aim is good, positioning is the one that has to be worked on the most. I think that if you learn, literally, like everything is, no, let's do 60, this is 20. I think your decision making is good overall. I like how decisive you are with the windows. I like how you decide who to triage in the team fights and stuff. I like that you know who to focus. I think that these are your 2 biggest issues. Number 1, positioning. If you know how to stay close to your allies, you're going to be seeing a lot of more results with Baptiste. If you play more aggressive without dying, As in, simplest way, stay behind your Orisa and shoot the enemies, or stay on high ground, see the enemies and your allies, you're gonna be seeing a lot more games won, bro. Your aim is decent, your decision making is good, and with cooldowns, this comes with experience. You're in gold, so I would understand some preemptive lamps, some preemptive regenerative bursts, which we covered earlier how to use them. Like if your teammates or yourself drop under 50% HP, that's when you would want to use your regenerative burst, not before the fights like you would in Overwatch 1 or when you take a lot of damage, considering how buffed right now regenerative burst is compared to the previous iteration. This being said, do the following. I recommend, me and Olaf actually recommends you do the following. Number 1, stay close to immobile character. Tank, then support, then DPS. So stay close to Orisa. If you have a tank that's, I hope this is the right word, immobile, like that doesn't have mobility skills. Like you're anchoring yourself. Why afterward support? Because you can help protect the support. And if your support has very high mobility, like for example, you're playing Lucio Baptiste, you're not going to stay near Lucio. So you're going to try to anchor near a DPS. Number 2, do things to enemies first, then your allies. Number 3, try to see the enemies if they don't have Widow, Hanzo, Sojourn. If they don't have one-shots or like heroes that can kill you super fast, right? Try to see the enemies and allies at the same time. If enemies see you... Wait, this is number 4. Number 4. If enemies see you, you can always get in cover next to a wall. Number 5, use the mobility skill you have and get high ground. Even if it's a little high ground, you can still do it. Number 6, I am not joking. Even though your aim is 10%, it's not your biggest issue. I am going to hop in training range for a second. I know that the VOD review is going 1 minute extra, but this is a super important tip. Do this aim trick with Bop. Very fast one. Because I don't think I've been seeing it. I like how you crouch spam, I like your cursor placement, but every time you shoot with Baptiste, you control the recoil. Baptiste recoil goes like this. I'm not controlling it. Let's look at one point. Let's look at this, right? Not controlling it. It goes up. Every time you shoot, you aim down a little bit. So, and when you reload, you adjust your mouse to that position. So, for example, this is how it goes standard. Compared to then aim down a bit. I'm gonna show you like this. I can't show you like this, but instead of like up, a little bit down, just a little bit. And when you reload, that's like when you want to get back into your comfortable mouse spot, I would say. So, hope you found this VOD useful, and let me know in the comments if you climbed or not after it.